Hi. So, again, I think we can begin. One or two persons more is supposed to come, but I guess they will come later. Yep. So, basically, last time we talked about definitions mostly, so we are going to continue talking about that today a bit, and then finally we can discuss the science, obviously. So, do you have any questions maybe regarding the homework video or previous lesson?
I have a few questions regarding the tester.
Okay, we are going to check the test anyway
Yeah.
today. So you just not very sure in some questions over there, or
Can I already give or just
have you tried already before today or not?
the test?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
You can check the case now online.
Yes.
Or it should be at the end.
Huh?
Or it should be at the end.
We can check now also if you want.
Yeah?
No problem.
If we check, this question will be answered.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yep. So, the first question was, is this a road, like cycle road? Cycle track? Yeah, obviously, yes. How many carriageways do you see here?
Two.
Two. All agree? Okay. How do you define a parking area?
Yeah, this is where I made a mistake.
Yeah, we talked about that in the first lesson, in the beginning, if to be more
Yeah.
correct. So parking is still the road because we have to follow the main road rules there anyway. So like, we have to consider the oncoming traffic, the ongoing traffic. We have to show indicators. We have to follow the giveaway signs, right-hand rules, and stuff like that. So on the parking, we still follow all these rules, and that's why it's a road. On the road, all the traffic rules are applied anyway. So that's the idea.
But it's completely alright to walk inside of the parking like a pedestrian.
Sorry?
But it's completely alright to walk inside of the parking lot. Like, you know, the parking
As a
parking
pedestrian,
area.
you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some areas, especially, maybe you know the Rockalmare Mall.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, particularly there, they have calm traffic area. So calm traffic area is designated only for pedestrians,
Mhm.
and no, mainly for pedestrians, and cars can drive there also. So some parkings they're having this sign like area of no calm traffic area basically. But you should consider if it's not calm traffic area but casual parking, like you can see next to this silver market, you should consider that if you walk on the road, which is parking, you are not having priorities like a pedestrian. That's the thing. So if there is no zebras or calm traffic area sign, it means you are not having priority and you have to wait until cars will disappear from your point of, like, from your view. Yeah. And what is dividing strip?
I chose the second.
Physical barrier, yeah?
Can
Yeah.
be with grass and I don't know, trees and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a dividing line.
Yes. Can be landscape.
Yeah.
Crossroad is regulated.
Here I chose yes, but it was wrong.
Yes, it's wrong. Yes.
Only with traffic lights?
If it has traffic light,
Mm-hmm.
if it has traffic light or a regulator, then yes, it's regulated.
Not
If-
with the signs.
Not with the signs, yeah.
There is a police traffic standing off, it is regulated, yes?
It's regulated, yeah. If it's a police standing, it's regulated. Which car will be the last in the situation if passing the crossroad?
B.
Yeah. Because of the right-hand rule, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the maximum allowed speed limit here?
30.
Yeah.
Till he begins the the
Crossroad.
crossing roads. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
After
correct.
that will be 50, I guess.
Yeah. But at this place, particularly, it's 30.
It's 30 still.
Yeah. Because calm traffic area and parking is not considered, and entrances to these areas are not considered as a crossroad. Yeah.
So 30 is the maximum speed, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that you can drive 15 if you want. It's like minimum and maximum, so you have to drive 30 anyway. You
Oh.
cannot drive 20.
But we can write 27, 28, 29.
Yes, if we talk about 3 kilometers plus minus, then it's okay. Like 33 or 27, it's okay. Something between that. Okay? So if you want to drive slowly, there should be always a reason to drive slowly. Maybe weather conditions or road conditions. I don't know, traffic jams, anything. If you have a reason, you can drive, and you have to explain. You have to explain this reason to the examiner if he asks you, like why you are driving so slowly. So if you have a reason, you need to explain it. If you drive without a reason, then it's going to be considered as a mistake, or mark at least. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's try to start with these definitions then. So we have to understand two different things about visibility. One is poor visibility, another one is limited. I think you already can guess the explanation. So poor visibility is caused by any weather conditions like rain and fog and snow, dust, water. But night driving is not poor visibility, by the way. Night driving is night driving. If we talk about limited visibilities, then we mostly talk about some objects that block the view. It can be building, forest, fences, and any other facilities, right?
Can you say weak visibility?
Weak is here then.
Oh yeah, it's
Poor and weak visibility, you can say. But this limited, it's still limited, yeah.
if there is a heavy rain or heavy snow.
Heavy snow, then it's poor visibility.
So
Yeah. Important mark here, in which objects on the road are indistinguishable from their background and more than 300 meters. So you cannot see anything for more than 300 meters. In that case, it's poor visibility, because if it's raining, imagine now it's going to rain a bit. In that case, it's not poor visibility, obviously, because it's sunny day, right? So it should be caused really by heavy rain, so you will not have a vision what happens after 300 meters. Okay.
Yeah.
So then we have a definition, one more definition regarding the motorways. We don't have them in Estonia, by the way. We only have highways. But in another European countries, there are a lot of motorways. So it's a special place designed or designated only for cars. So you will not see any like cycle tracks or sidewalks for pedestrians or some public transport. Even in some countries, like in Germany, as soon as you enter the motorway, you have unlimited speed to drive. So it can be even 300, 400, as much as you can, which is quite dangerous, but still it's allowed, and you can travel faster. So this is the sign for the motorway. Some countries still have limits for the motorways. You also should be aware of that when you travel somewhere. Maybe it's like in some countries like Lithuania, I know on motorways the limit maximum is 140 kilometers per hour. In some countries 160. In Germany, for example, on some motorways it's unlimited. So as soon as you travel somewhere, you should always keep in mind that different country, different speed limits for the motorways, for the highways, and for the city driving. Yep.
By the way, you mentioned that public transport also cannot use this. But
Yeah.
Public transport is also kind of power-driven vehicle.
I think that between city, public transport can use it. I think if we talk more about like these buses that travel in the city.
Yeah.
In the city, yeah. But between cities buses, they are another buses, right?
Like
They
much
still,
bigger.
yeah, they are still allowed there, yeah.
Or motorbike.
Motorbike also, obviously, yeah. So yeah, this is how the motorway looks like. Emergency stopping is the bringing your vehicle to a halt, or if the holding of vehicle when the continuation of driving is dangerous or technically impossible. So you can make an emergency stopping if something of this happened with you, like technical issues, or for example your health condition doesn't allow that. For example, if you have a temperature or fatigue, it's still considered as emergency stopping. And if I make an emergency stopping, what should I do so people can see me? Yeah, danger warning signs, right? Sorry, emergency signs, yeah, lights, the blinkers, yeah. Later we're going to talk about what to do if you have accident. So you also should place the warning triangle. But we'll talk about that later. So now we have standing and parking. This is also quite confusing thing for even for locals. I mean, no one understands difference between standing and parking. Yeah. So let's try to I will try to explain it basically. So standing means the bringing of vehicle to an intentional halt for picking up or setting down passengers or loading and unloading goods. If we talk about parking, it's bringing a vehicle to an intentional halt for longer than it's necessary. for picking up or sitting down passengers. And what means longer than it's necessary? That's the idea, which make you confused a bit. So if I'm a truck driver and I want to unload some goods in the market, any market like Prisma, right? Imagine I need to unload some goods, and I'm going to do this unloading for 4 hours. So in that case, it's standing or parking?
4 hours.
4 hours, yeah.
Standing.
Standing. Yeah. But as soon as I, driver of this truck, go for lunch, in that moment, this situation is going to be called parking, because I'm not doing any other processes with the car related with the car anymore, right? Or I want to make a cigarette or something like that. So it's still in that moment it's going to be parking, because now I'm not doing any processes with the vehicle. So it's a mistake if you think about timing. Yeah, you should think about it like process. Process, yeah. If you're a taxi driver, it's the same logic. So I'm picking passengers, dropping passengers. As soon as I stop and start talking with the passenger inside of the car. In that case, it's parking. But if I just come to the place, drop passengers, close the door, and immediately go, it's standing. Right?
Yes.
So this is what we should consider. Stopping with the traffic flow, for example, traffic jam, or by the red light, or by the regulator, is not considered as standing. Why should we know that? I will go a little bit ahead. So there are two signs exist in traffic law. This one means no standing. This one means no parking. So that's why you should know what's the difference between parking and standing. Because if you do parking under this sign, then you will get a penalty. Obviously here parking, standing are not allowed. So of course if you do anything of this, you will get a penalty. I think you got the idea, right?
Yes.
So now level crossing. It's also an intersection at one level. The same like we talked last time. It should be on one level with the main road, let's say. So if you have a barrier, or if you don't have a barrier, the location of a railway sign indicating a single or multi-track railway constitute the border between a road and a level crossing. So the border between the road where you drive and level crossing is going to be the location of this sign, if there is no barrier. As soon as you see the sign and no barrier and you need to stop, you have to stop in front of the sign. If you see the barrier, then it's simple. You just stop in front of the barrier. Sometimes they also have stop signs. Then you have to stop in front of the stop sign. So stop sign has the highest priority. How do you think what this sign means, by the way?
There's a railway ahead with the barrier.
With the barrier.
Yeah. With
Yeah.
The barrier.
Yeah, correct. How do you know that?
I watched the video.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. I guess that Schlagbaum is the barrier over there.
Schlagbaum, yeah, that's the correct word.
Don't know how to say that in English though.
We call it in English barrier, but
Barrier,
yeah. So yeah. Then authorized official. You already know that persons directs or stops road users within the limits of their authority. They have special uniform. They also are having more priority than traffic lights, for example. So if you see a red light but the person is showing you that you can go, so then you have to go. One of the examples. Of course, you have to go in direction allowed by the signs. So if he just shake the hand and you accidentally start going in an oncoming direction, it doesn't count it, right? So you have to go in allowed direction. So if you are standing in the lane for the right turn only and he shakes hand, it means you can go to the right only. So you cannot go straight, for example, from the lane that is purposed only for the right turns. Okay? Golden traffic area. As I already mentioned, it's a designated area for pedestrians and vehicles, but pedestrians mostly they have more priorities than on casual roads. You might notice that usually in the golden traffic area 20 is the speed by default. So you see the sign, you have to drive 20. No one will remind you about that. You have to keep it in mind. The same like if you enter the city area, how much can you go then? Yes. If you exit the city area by default, how much you can go? 90. 90, yeah. If you exit the city area. If you enter the calm traffic area, then you have to drive 20 by default.
So in essence, there are 2 carriageways and 4 lanes, right?
One carriageway
Ah, yeah, 1 carriageway,
and 4 lanes.
4 lanes.
Yeah, we don't have dividing strip in the middle. Yeah.
You're right.
So we can see 4 lanes here. Everybody understands what lane means, obviously, I think. So in one lane, usually 1 car can fit. The white, it's around 3 meters. 1 lane. Yeah, takes 3 meters. So 1 car can perfectly fit there. But there is also one more definition, traffic line. Traffic line is formed by vehicles driving behind one another. So if we drive like a snake, one behind one another, then we form the traffic line. So the tricky thing is that if you are driving motorcycles, then you can drive in 2 lines in 1 lane, right? We can Google even, I think, motorcycle company driving. For example, in that picture, they drive in 1 line here, all one by another. But if they drive next to each other, then in that case they form 2 lines, but still they are using in 2 lines, but still using 1 lane. Okay, I cannot find anything good. Oh, like here maybe even. So they use 1, let's say, lane, but in 2 lines. Right? This is what I mean. Or like here. Or even here. 1 lane and 2 lines. I think it's clear anyway. Yep.
For motorcycle, yes, but for cars, it's like the cars are behind each other, right? So
Yeah,
it's
cars cannot drive. Yeah, cars cannot drive in 2 lines. They always drive in 1 line. But as motorcycle have only 2 wheels, they can drive next to each other and make 2 lines, like here also. Oh, that's the perfect picture, I think. But car next to them is driving in 1 line, you see. So that's how it works. So what is public transport vehicle? I think you will also guess it. It's like bus, trolleybus, or tram, even taxi. You see, or an automobile intended to provide a public transport service. In some countries, even this kind of cargo buses are used as for traveling, right? In the city, inside of the city.
What do you mean automobile?
Automobile mean car.
Which
It means like taxi, for example. Taxi. Yeah. Only if you are carrying passengers. So even bus cannot drive there if it's not carrying passengers and going to depot, for example. Yeah. After a work day. You maybe notice if you sometimes walk very lately that buses are driving on the main lanes without passengers to depot, for example. The same for the taxi drivers. If they are not carrying any passengers, they cannot use bus lanes.
What if they need to pick up a passenger?
If that's the second question. We can use bus lanes only in some circumstances. Even casual drivers can use it. For example, for a turn, or if I need to drop someone. So we're going to talk about that. Now more about like general information. There are some specifics regarding these bus lanes, of course. You most can keep in mind that if you have an electric car, you can use bus lanes like without any limits. Also, some lanes we can use together with bicycles, like bus and bicycles. In 1 lane can drive also, but it should be specific sign for that. You can see on the ground, right? So all you should know about bicycles and cyclists that they are not pedestrians. They have different rules regarding the driving and giving away. So especially on pedestrian walks. And basically also if you are driving on pedestrian roads as a cyclist, you cannot exceed the speed limit in 25 kilometers per hour now. So it's a new law. Last days was applied, and additionally, any other small engine vehicles, which are like scooters, Bolt scooters, for example. If you want to drive a pedestrian road, you cannot exceed 25 kilometers per hour, for example. The same for self-balancing vehicles, by the way.
Like scooters.
Scooters, self-balancing vehicles. You mean mopeds? No?
The scooters, the electric scooters.
Bolt scooters, for example. Yeah, the same.
They're like self-balancing as well, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. I was thinking more about this kind of things. There you really have to balance or something, no?
And sometimes I saw the ones like without the handles though.
Yeah, with one wheel only.
Yeah.
Inside, yeah. This is crazy. Need to try someday. So, regarding the overtaking and passing, it's also two different definitions. So, like, if we're overtaking, it means that we exit the lane that we are in, then overtake someone and go back to the lane that we were before inside. Passing in that case means that we are not exiting or entering any lanes. We just go faster than another car. For example, in the left lane. Here I can ask a tricky question. So what speed should be for this guy by default?
Yeah.
Yes. Why you think it's 50? Why it's not 90, for example, by default? Or what do you think about that?
Probably it's inside of the city, that's it.
Yeah. I think you will have it soon. 1 second. I will check. On the third lesson, maybe. Yeah, on the third lesson. Homework, I mean. The thing is that there's a special regulation sign. All these arrow signs we call special regulation signs, and you see that the background of this sign is white. So if it's white, it means you're in the city. If it's blue, then you're out of the city. If it's yellow, then it's temporary sign. It can be out and in the city. And that's why how I understand that 50 is by default on the right side because it's city area, and 70 allowed to drive in the left lane. So sometimes one lane can be faster than another. Rounding the obstacle, it's not overtaking because the car in fact parked next to the shoulder or standing next to the shoulder. In that case, we doesn't call it overtaking. We call it like rounding the obstacle. Okay.
Yes.
Can I move it? Okay. That will be. So car should be stopped. We also consider it as an obstacle pedestrians, for example, walking next to the shoulder. Like pedestrians, maybe some trees on the shoulder. It's still rounding an obstacle, which means you also have to show indicators. Left and right all the time. Temporary road sign. This is that we just mentioned. They have yellow background usually, and they have removable base. You see? And one more thing regarding the temporary signs, that temporary sign has more priority than the casual sign. So imagine if you have casual sign like 70, but temporary is 30, so you have to drive 30 in that case.
In the picture there is yellow background and orange background. Is it the same?
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, orange, yellow, yeah. Like warning.
What does that sign mean on the board?
This one.
No, on the board.
This.
On the board. Excuse me?
Where?
Look here.
Yeah,
On the board.
on the board. This is learner signs.
Learning sign.
Yeah. It's used for it's used for used by teachers used by teachers or by supervisors, so you can put it on the back or on the front if you study to drive a car.
For beginner.
Yes. But it's two different things. It's not a road sign. It's just indicator, maybe we can call it. If we have a conflict between traffic sign and road sign, we need to follow the traffic sign. So you see road marking is solid. Yeah. So it means solid lines you cannot cross usually. But this sign allows you to go that way, so allows you to cross the solid line. So in that case, if you have this kind of conflict, sign always has more priority, so you have to follow the sign then. The same with the road marking. So if you have yellow road marking, temporary one, you follow this temporary road marking. You don't follow the yellow, the white ones. And regarding the pedestrian crossings, we should discuss a bit. So it's a special area designated for pedestrians. It has respective road surface marking or sign, and drivers, they have to give way if they see pedestrians on zebra or if they are walking next to the pedestrian crossing sign. Last time I also mentioned that it's always better to give way to pedestrians even if you see they are not on zebra, yeah? So you have to give them away, at least you have to ensure that they are not crossing, even if they're like in 3 or 5 meters in front of it. It's always better to do it like this. So if you see that some people coming towards to the pedestrian crossing, but you think they are far, it's always better to slow down at least, check slowly if they go or not. If they go, you stop. If they don't, you just accelerate and continue driving. One more tricky rule you should know about crossing the roads and carriageways. A pedestrian may cross the carriageway only by using a pedestrian overpass or tunnel, which is obvious. But one more mark here, which is located to you closer than 100 meters. So as soon as it's further than 100 meters, like 110, 105, approximately, of course, you don't have to go with this measurement system or something, approximately. In that case, you can cross the carriageway in any other place you like. Yeah. Sounds tricky, yeah. But of course, in that case, you don't have priority. So I live in a village, for example. I have only one pedestrian crossing in that village, but my house in 1 kilometer after this pedestrian crossing. So if I want to cross the road, do I have to go to the pedestrian crossing and then cross the road? Of course not. So that's the logic. That's why this rule exists. Otherwise, all people had to walk too much in the city to cross any road. But you should be careful. As I said, in that case, you don't have priority. You can cross, but if cars hit you, you will be guilty. Anyway. Borders of unregulated pedestrian crossing, which is also quite important for most of you. You should understand how and where you can walk. So this is the area you can walk when you cross. Not like this, in diagonal. Yeah, because some people cross like this.
What about this crossroad in Budapest? Like people are crossing like.
Yeah, that's quite interesting place. So it's like a pedestrian crossing inside other pedestrian crossings, because they made it like this recently. You know that if pedestrians have green, all will have green and all cars will have red. And that's why it's allowed to walk inside of this crossroad area, carriageway crossing area. Yeah. In that kind of situation, it's allowed. But now we are talking more not about the crossroads, we are talking about casual pedestrian crossing on the carriageway, yeah, like on the picture. So in that case, of course, it's not allowed to cross it like in diagonal way, even if it has red lights or green lights, like I mean traffic lights in general. The same tricky thing that some pedestrian crossings don't have zebra. And students immediately get confused. They don't notice signs. They notice only zebras. They think that if there is no zebra, okay, I can go. But in fact, if you have only signs, even, it's still considered as a pedestrian crossing. And people can walk between these two signs. You see the area formed by the signs. You can walk inside of this area. So, what rules should you know as a pedestrian? A pedestrian may not cross the carriageway at a place where a barrier has been placed to ban pedestrian traffic. For example, some fence or sign. And in a build-up area in the city, on a road having a dividing strip outside a passenger overpass or tunnel, pedestrian crossing or crossing. So, if we have some barrier in the middle of the road or sign, we cannot walk. Or if we have a dividing strip, the same logic here. Step on the carriageway from behind a standing vehicle or other obstacle without ascertaining that no vehicle is approaching. So you exit the bus, for example, and some people just run behind the bus to get to another bus or somewhere else. So you cannot do this without ascertaining that road is free, carriageway is free. Walk on the motorway, as we discussed today. It's on the motorway. There is no place for cyclists or pedestrians or anyone. So in Germany, for example, there are some very strict rules regarding that. So they don't allow for people to walk there, and obviously they get a very big penalties if policemen see someone walking on the motorway. So walk on a carriageway with a dividing strip, next to the dividing strip, or along the dividing strip if no sidewalk on the dividing strip is provided. So as you understand, pedestrians cannot use dividing strip at all. So let's imagine that here it's less than 100 meters. So in that case, you cannot cross here. You have to go to the pedestrian crossing, right? Because you are close enough. Here, the same logic regarding the previous rules. If you have dividing strip in the middle, you cannot cross the road, even if there is no pedestrian crossing nearby. So the very first rule works only in the situation when it's casual carriageway without any bans, prohibition signs, or dividing strips.
Less than 100.
Yeah, less than 100. What are you going to do in this situation? So you have give way sign, pedestrian crossing sign, and green light. So you just go, or you give away to everyone and go.
No, you go. I guess the traffic light has the priority in this situation.
Okay. Do you have any suggestions else?
I think you should wait if people are going. If no one is going, then you should go. Like if there are no people, then you should go.
Okay.
And I guess there should be additional lighting for the pedestrians, whether they can go or not.
Yeah.
You should read if it is green, the pedestrian should read it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's correct logic.
Sometimes that doesn't work.
Yeah, that's true also. In that case, if no traffic light works for me and for pedestrians and for drivers, no, doesn't matter. In that case, we have to follow the signs. But if traffic light is working for cars at least, or for pedestrians, we have to follow it. But yeah, the first option was correct, that traffic light has more priority than other signs. So it doesn't matter if it's giveaway or not, I have green light, so I have to go. And doesn't matter if I have pedestrian crossing sign, I have to go. I have green light. Because pedestrians will have red light anyway, if it works. In what case then we follow these signs?
When there is pedestrian.
No, we already, but pedestrian have red light.
Yes.
When the traffic lights don't work.
Yes.
Yeah.
When traffic light doesn't work, then we follow the signs.
Yes.
So then we have to give way to pedestrians first, and this sign give away to the cars. Then I give way to other cars. Yep. Any questions? So finally we can start with the signs. One second, pardon me. Somewhere.
Should we? We didn't talk about highways. Like we talked about motorway, but didn't talk about traffic.
We will talk about that. It's going to be this lesson. Next one. We'll talk about different inside of the build-up area, outside of the build-up area, driving traffic on motorway, calm traffic area, and traffic in tunnels. So we call it modes, like different driving modes, because these areas, they all have specific rules and specific limitations. All these areas. Yeah, but we are going to discuss it. So, yeah, so let's discuss the science finally. It's going to be 2 lessons in total regarding that, quite a lot. So sometimes it's quite boring, but yeah, I hope it will be not. Main things we should understand about priority signs, like we discussed last time. So as soon as you have main road signs pointing you that you have a main road, you have the main road on the whole road carriageway ahead. It can be finished only by the end of the priority sign or giveaway sign, which is obvious. Giveaway sign means I have to stop and give away, right? So it can be ended like this. You can say that, okay, we also have a stop sign, so like stop and give away. It's the same like giveaway, but with stopping. So according to the rule, stop sign cannot cancel the main road sign. Only giveaway sign can cancel it. Last time we also discussed these fat lines, right? So as soon as you see priority sign, so this yellow diamond, and which way the main road goes here, can you say? Can you tell me?
Straight.
Left.
Ah, no, left.
Left. Yeah, that's true. So the other persons in front and on the right has to give you away. They have to give you away. If we have a giveaway sign, then there is no actual obligation to stop. This is what you should understand. Giveaway doesn't mean you have to stop. If you see it's free road, no people, no cars, you can go. But you just have to check. If you have someone, then you have sometimes particular place where to stop, like with specific road marking. You see these triangles like shark teeth, so this is the place where you have to stop. It's like stop line. And stop sign, so it's the same like giveaway, so you have to give away, but you have to stop additionally. What's the main mistake on the exam? So people, students, they like they see the stop sign, they know, okay, they have to give way, but they forgot to complete stop. So if we talk it in car dimension, so even driving like slowly like this is not counted as stopping. So you have to stop that wheels are not moving at all, like full stop like this. If you are going to move slowly like this and checking, then it doesn't count like a stopping, and because of that you will fail the exam. So be very careful with that. That's why I'm telling you more in details about that now. So complete stop, wheels are not turning, you check, and then you can drive. That's it. Okay?
Yes.
So some example we have. Yeah, it's country in Kadriorg, the park, in city center almost. So stop sign, stop here and give away. Stop sign, stop and give away. For 2 different lanes, actually, you can see even.
Is this signs also applicable for like tram? Like trams going there?
I never seen they have this sign somewhere. I mean, you mean if you have to give way to the tram?
No, there was a tram track in stop signs there. This tram?
This tram track,
No, this
this
Yeah,
one.
that one.
Yeah, of course. In that case, he also has to stop. The tram, I mean. I just realized it's a tramway here. Never noticed that. Yeah, tramways, they also have to follow this. Trams, they also have to follow this priority rules. Yeah. Okay?
Yes.
If you and tram has the same priority, like you both have main road sign, so tram will always have more priority than you anyway.
Because tram is a public transport.
Yes, but it's railway public transport, that's why. So they have only particular route where to drive, and that's why they have more priority regarding the other drivers. I can show you a very tricky place where luckily no one drives there on the exam, but it's a lot of accidents happen in this place. It's also next to Kadriorg. It's I think it's Naromante. Yeah, the church. Yeah. Yeah, that's the place. So you drive with the tram on the same road, you see? Like tramways and casual lane. Right? So
Yeah.
obviously you have the same priority. But if you continue driving here, you see what happens. So who has priority then? You drive in your lane and tram goes into your lane. You see? So the thing is that you have, if you drive straight, you still have to give way to the tram.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Does it need to stop here? Or what?
Yeah, the idea is that you have to check. If you see the tram next to you, you have to stop in this place, in the middle of the road, to give him away. You know maybe this place, yeah?
It's near the church.
Yeah, this white one. It's also universities there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been here a few times.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, quite interesting place, and a lot of places in Kadriorg itself when you drive, because yeah, it's quite crazy there. So yeah, in that case, you have to give way to the tram to stop in the middle of the road and wait until he comes. Regarding the stop signs, there are also some specific rules you should know. Last time we a little bit talked about that. So if you have a stop line, like on the left picture, then it's okay, it's all logical. You stop in front of the stop line, which is more important, that stop sign can be very behind you, but stop line far away, so you still have to stop in front of the line. The second thing, which is not very common for beginners especially, if you don't have a stop line, sorry, then you have to stop at the edge of the carriageway crossing area. You remember what carriageway crossing area means?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, this
Square.
square inside of the carriageways.
so in the border we have to just just
Stop. Yes.
Alright.
I'm sad that I didn't put this example here, but I will show you quickly. I will show you the place with exam road, by the way. Sometimes they drive there. Yeah, Huru. This is the place. It's a good place for fishing, by the way. Yeah, this is the place. So you can notice maybe that this stop sign is not actually in front of the road carriageway. You see, it's from the distance. But you, if you drive here, you have to stop not there in front of the sign. You have to stop right here on this place. That's the edge of the road, carriageway crossing. You understand?
Yes.
So, of course, no one will fail you if you stop in front of the sign. But if you want to have some bonus on the exam, it's always better to make everything correctly. So you have to stop in front of this carriageway. Okay? So before that we talked about the crossroads, but now it's not a crossroad, it's pedestrian crossing ahead, and then after that crossroad. So another rule related with stop signs that I will repeat it to make it more easier. So if we talk about the crossroads, if you are on the crossroads, you stop in front of the stop line. In the absence of stop line, you stop at the edge of the carriageway crossing area. That's it. Forget about crossroads. Second, if we, in all other circumstances, we have to stop in front of the sign. In all other like situations. In front of the railways, in front of the pedestrian crossings, in front of the parking, anywhere, you have to stop in front of the sign then. So in fact, the stop sign is not for the crossroad. The stop sign is for pedestrian, right? So these two main rules, keep in mind. This is also not a crossroad because it's parking, which means I have to stop in front of the sign if I want to stop.
So
Not,
this is not a crossroad, right?
it's not a crossroad. Yeah,
because I heard that you said this is another crossroad.
it's not a cross. Yeah, it's parking. Yeah.
So we just have to stop right in front of that sign.
Yeah. Not at the edge, yeah? Because if it's crossroad, then at the edge you have to stop. But it's not a crossroad. So then you have to stop in front of the sign.
For how long, by the way?
There is no particular time you have to count, but I usually recommend to count at least 3 seconds in your head.
Even if there are no cars,
Yes,
just stop.
yes. That's the idea. Why they put the stop sign then? They could put the giveaway sign. So if they put stop sign, they want you to stop in some reason. They think it's more dangerous place than usually.
In this picture, there is no any way. Actually, I cannot see what's the logic that they put this stop and over there.
It's exit from the parking to the main road of this parking. And if it's fully parked here, then people don't see what happens on the left. On the left, there. It's not visible, and that's why they put stop sign. So it's limited visibility, by the way. That's why.
Because of the sharp bend, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, the road.
It's more because behind you someone is coming.
Oh,
Like when imagine you drive this black car,
Yeah.
so you want to exit here, right?
Yeah.
So it's very hard to see who is on the left because of parked cars here. And crazy people drive there very fast usually. That's why they put stop sign. Yeah, this is the situation with the right hand rules. Again, so everybody have a stop sign means right hand rule applies. If everybody have a main road sign, for example, it never happens, but imagine you also have to apply the right hand rule. As soon as you have the same signs with other persons, you have main road and someone else has main road, you should apply the right hand rule. We are going to talk about these crossroads also later. So priority for oncoming traffic and priority over oncoming traffic. So if you have priority, you will have this sign. So oncoming traffic is red, doesn't have priority. In that case, you are red arrow, and oncoming traffic is black arrow, so they have priority. You are not having priority. This is how it looks like from both sides. So this guy doesn't have priority. This one has, and they have this signs on both sides, different signs. Clear?
You said that these blue signs are mainly in highways.
Sorry?
The blue signs are on the highways, right?
No, it's not special regulation sign. The thing I told you regarding the colors, it was special regulation sign. Hard to think in Estonian. So, we here. These are special regulation signs, but the one we talk about now is priority sign. You can say that, okay, they all look the same with arrows, but you see the meaning is different. These signs are used only for directing, like you, and showing you which lane goes which way. If you go outside, you will see that every crossroad, almost every crossroad has this sign and showing you which lane goes in which direction. But these signs, usually you see like once in the region. Okay? Oh, you can buy it. Yeah, these are also here. Here also. These are temporary signs, by the way. Interesting. Okay, so I will show you the real example of this priority like sign and how it applies. So usually, commonly, it's used because the road is narrow. So you can see the bridge in front, right? And the road is much more narrow than here. You see? And that's why they put the sign here. So in that case, if you see this sign here, it means you have to stop and wait if somebody is coming, especially if it's bus. You'll ask like where to stop. It's also not regulated by the law somehow. You can choose your place to stop, but which is more safe for you, it seems. But I recommend you to stop in front of the sign, which is more logical, I think. You will have enough space to think what to do next. And if we go to oncoming way, what? Okay. In opposite direction, you see they have priority. So they know that oncoming traffic gives us away. Yeah? It's like real-time picture. So there was a construction next to this building some time ago. So the same. From one side it's priority, from another side it's giving away, basically. Because of construction, as you see. Clear with this one? Okay. Now we have prohibitory signs. For example, speed limit is prohibitory sign. These signs are valid only on the road on which they are installed. So if you drive on this road, you continue driving 70. If you go left, you should drive by default 90 because you are out of the city. What else? So you also should keep in mind that the rule with crossroad cancellations works only in the build-up area. I will remind you several times anyway, more. But yeah, keep in mind that crossroad doesn't cancel the speed limit outside of the build-up areas. Huh? Build-up area is city. Easily saying city or out of the city. So this road is out of the city area. It used to be an exam place. It was a 70 sign in front. You see. So of course, if you continue driving 70, like straight, you will drive 70. But if he asks you to turn right here, you don't have any signs anymore. It's another road, another rules. So by default here you have to drive 90 again. If you continue driving 70 here, then it's a mistake. And some prohibitory signs. So the first one, the very simple one, I think to remember, just empty white inside, close to all vehicles, prohibits all vehicle traffic. So all vehicles cannot enter, even bicycles. Driving on a private road, prohibited. Here you have different exceptions, which are not very important for you, but yeah, generally saying this one, private road, you cannot enter except guests. So you need to have permission. And this one, you can drive, but on only your own responsibility. Which means if you have an accident in that area, insurance will not cover the damage that you have there.
Mr. Interpretati.
Yeah. Sorry?
Mr. Interpretati.
Private road?
Private?
Private road. Yeah.
Estonian language, yes?
Yes.
Is here some road in Estonia if we go, it's a private or
Yes, a
then
lot.
we should pay for going to that road? Is it some kind of
No. It's like in Europe, it's usually you have to pay for motorways, by the way. But in Estonia, we don't have any paid road. Like here, no entry for all vehicles. This way. You'll ask why it's so many cars here, right?
how they went there?
That's the question. We have some additional information here. Additional panels. We're going also to discuss it later, but now I will tell you.
Let's zoom it.
I will try. I don't know how to.
It's not possible.
I think, yeah. Yeah, not possible. Basically saying, so you can see this red star, right? It means holidays, or like it can be Christmas time, for example. It's a holiday, like, yeah, red day of calendar. So or weekends. Yeah, so it means no entry for all vehicles at the weekends or some other holidays. The lower one means on working days, starting from 6 in the evening till 7 in the morning. I made this picture around 2 o'clock during the daytime, so it means that people are allowed to drive there.
But it is working time.
Yeah, during the working time, basically you can be there.
Then there might be someone come at night, they park the car over there, yes?
At night they cannot. You see, from starting from 6 p.m. till 7 a.m. you cannot.
During the night you cannot, but during the day
During the day you can park.
you can park. Oh.
Yes. On working days. Then usually people mix this sign and this one because they're a little bit different. So in this case, if you see the car inside, it's no entry for any power-driven vehicles, like no motor vehicles. It means that if you drive bicycle, you can enter this area. And this is why we discussed the categories last time. So no entry for C category trucks, no enter for D category buses, no entry for motorcycles for A category, snowmobiles, and combination of this. Clear?
Yes.
So if there is no entry for trucks, it means cars and motorcycles and even buses can enter that area. It's just an example of different restrictions. This one means what?
No, no
Parking.
parking.
Yes. No
No
problem.
parking, yeah. Also, note C category allowed after 50 meters. For tractors, for road trains, it means like truck plus trailer. For horse, no, it's animal drawn vehicles. And this is the most frequently asked question in the tests. No entry for vehicles carrying dangerous goods. So dangerous goods like flammable, nuclear, chemical, poisonable, anything. No entry for cycles, full mopeds, for riders on horseback. Never saw that. No entry for pedestrians, which you also have to follow, by the way. So sometimes they place it on the highways, especially like it's dangerous to walk on the short how to say shoulder. It's better to walk on the left side because it's wider. So in that case, it's not allowed to walk on the right. On the left is more safe. Or like this, it's not allowed to go that way because it's no pedestrian crossings here or something, I think. Or maybe because of shoulder also, like sharp turn, so it's not allowed. Do you know this sign? Maybe.
I've seen it a lot.
Yes. It's no entry for vehicle or traffic, which means that some vehicles cannot enter that area. Like there are some exceptions, of course, sometimes. But if you simply see the sign, it means vehicles cannot enter that way, and most probably it's used for showing you that it's oncoming traffic ahead, which is you cannot enter. Like here. So it's oncoming traffic, you see no entry sign, and you cannot go that way. Or here, oncoming traffic, cannot go. What this sign means? All in total.
No entry in 100 meters for trucks.
Yes. You're right.
But how come they didn't use the other sign for like specifically designed it for the trucks, like red circle with truck inside?
Why they didn't use it, you mean?
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Yeah, good question. I don't know why. They needed to spend more money on signs. You see, if it's no entry for trucks, it's only one sign. Here it's 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know why.
Is there a difference with this one and the other ones? Like if this is for like moving or those ones are for parking or is there a difference?
What do you mean difference between what and what?
So this red one, no entry, and the one with red outline, but inside there is a car, for example. Like,
You mean this ones?
yeah, like what is the main difference between those two?
You see, this, for example, these signs are particularly saying that one type cannot use the road ahead. Like tractors, okay, they cannot go there, but others can. But if we talk about no entry sign, it means everybody cannot go. You'll ask why it's ellipse, by the way, maybe, or you will not.
Yes.
So it's for, yeah, it's for seeing it in 180 degrees. Yeah, so you can see it from any side, almost. Okay. So, no left turn, no right turn. You remember, it applies only on the first carriageway crossing, right? So on the second carriageway crossing, it doesn't apply. I don't remember if we discussed the U-turns in that case. Can I make a U-turn? Yes or no?
What is a U-turn, by the way?
U-turn.
From the
It's going back.
No, you cannot.
From the second one.
Yeah. Even from the first one, actually. So left turn doesn't mean that you cannot make a U-turn. So U-turn you can make even here if you want, but left you cannot go. U-turn is going back.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, actually, the thing you are saying is more proper. If you want to make a U-turn, it's better to make it from here. Still, from here. So you go to your lane, and then go back. So if somebody comes, you also have chance to give way. No U-turn. So in that case, you're already guessing you can make a left turn. U-turn no, but left turn you can do it. Then customs control, police control. It's the place where you have to stop for checking. Usually on customs. On the border between the countries, we have these signs. These signs are quite specific. They are mostly purposed for the trucks, and we can discuss it a little. So, no entry for vehicles exceeding 7 tons laden mass. So full mass cannot be more than that. The same sign, but for 1 axle. Do you know what is axle?
No.
So car has 2 axles here. 1 axle is this,
Oh,
and
alright.
second axle is this. Yeah, 1 axle, second axle behind. So it's saying that 2 tons cannot be on 1 axle. So here I cannot put more than 2 tons on 1 axle, or here in front. And the same for a combination of axles. So trucks, they usually have a lot of axles behind. You remember?
Yeah, a lot of.
So then you cannot exceed the mass for the group of axles, which is mentioned on the sign.
Which one? The
Third one? Yeah, this. For group of axles.
The first one is for the whole mass of.
For the whole mass, yeah.
Of the vehicle.
Yes. No entry for vehicles having an overall height exceeding this meters. So the height of the car cannot be more than 3.8. Then the width of the car cannot be more than 2 meters. The width is this. Yeah, this distance. The length of the car cannot be more than 10 meters. This is the length. Maximum speed again. So sometimes we also have digital speed limit signs. This like having black background. But on the picture it seems weird, I know. But yeah, in fact it looks like this. It can be changed in any time when it's needed, remotely. Overtaking prohibited. Overtaking by goods vehicles prohibited for trucks, for example. So it means casual cars can overtake.
Actually, there was a sign like 30 with T, like one before. One. Yes, this.
30 tons, yeah?
No, what is it?
Yeah, yeah, it's this sign.
Okay.
Yep. Shortest separation distance between cars, 70 meters. So closer you cannot drive. Use of audible warning device prohibited. Mostly it's used in calm traffic areas, as you understand. Standing prohibited, parking prohibited. It's also valid only on the side of the roadway that it's placed. So it's if it's on the left side, not allowed to stand. Then on the right side you can do anything you want.
Even after you pass the sign itself.
Yeah, because it's valid only on one side.
Alright, but how long? Like,
Until the
how far?
next intersection, so until the next carriageway crossing.
Alright. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the place you can see like no parking, no standing for taxis here. Taxo, you see.
But
So
they're
casual cars can park there.
Right.
But on the right side, it's not visible at the moment, but it's written that all other drivers cannot park there, only taxis. So they divided the parking.
Alright.
It's in the Viru center, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, sometimes you have a marking like yellow solid line and breakable line. Also yellow. It should be next to the shoulder or on the border. It's not temporary marking. So don't mix it up. Because temporary marking is usually like drawn in the middle of the road, right? Like indicating the lanes. But these markings, they are usually exactly at the border. Stone border, I mean. And if you see this line, solid one, it means no parking, no standing. Even without sign, you have to know that. And you should follow this rule.
So if it's yellow, no standing, no parking.
If it's, if it's breakable line, stripes, then only no parking.
Oh, no parking.
Sometimes they also have zonal validity, like in front of the sign cannot park and stand.
Mm-hmm.
So after that you can.
Yeah.
So arrows showing you. Oh, that's the funny one. So parking prohibited on odd number dates and parking prohibited on even number dates. Yeah. Looks weird.
So on 21st I cannot park. Like 22nd I can.
Yeah,
Something like
19 of June. It's today. It means we cannot park here. We should park here. If it's 20 of June, we cannot park on the right side. We should park on the left side. Which is weird, right? I never seen the signs, by the way. Even cannot show you the example. If you find one, then you can send me a picture or location. The second thing we should know about that, you don't have to wait until 000 time to change the car park. So tomorrow is the 20th, right? It doesn't mean that you have to wait until until midnight to repark your car to another side. There is a rule that allows you to do that between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. So 2 hours you have to exchange the site. between 7 and 9 p.m. So they consider that date is changed during that time.
So if it's 19th after between this time, you can already park on this.
Yes. So now we can say it's 7 o'clock. Now I can park on both sides. So I have 2 hours of this buffer zone. I can park on any side, but as soon as it's after 9, I should be on the proper side.
Okay, so you can land only on the left side.
Yeah. Clear?
Yes.
This sign does not apply to public transport vehicles, by the way. Sign no standing, no parking. And these 3 signs do not apply to automobiles, cars bearing the Red Cross emblem performing official duties, and taxis with taximeter switched on may park up to 15 minutes in the zone of the signs. Okay, so I think for now we can finish, and next time we talk about the cancellations and zonal signs, and as I see, road markings and informational signs, which are much more simple than these signs. So, do you have any questions?
Can you also send us this slideshow?
I will, you can try to remind me to like download it. I think I have to see if it's going to work, because we have a lot of templates inside. I think you can get confused very quickly. So not all the slides are opened here, as you understand. This is what I mean. For example, here in the end. You can remind me to send it to you, yeah? I will try. Yeah, for today we finished, so next time, the same place. Don't forget to make the homework, like videos and test. Okay?
Yeah.
Next week, Monday.
Monday, yeah.
4:30.
5:30, yeah.
Bye.
Bye bye.
So last time we talked about the slot, so I need to register to
Yep.
what's the final thing that I need to buy the subscription?
Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing you should do now, and you can practice the test there together with the lessons we do.
So is it a paid subscription model?
Yeah.
Oh.
You just have to choose the package. I don't know, there's only one or different options. I think it's only also different options there. So you don't need books, you just need tests.
Alright. Only tests.
Yeah. Books is needed for those who study like online. But you're reading the same things here, so
Alright. Only tests.
yes.
Thank you very much then.
Yeah, you're welcome.
See you next time.
See you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.